Nel nome del Padre, Figliolo, Spirito Santo. Amen.
Such a separation.
Okay, hello everybody. Special acknowledgement now of anybody who might be watching this as a recorded video. We put recordings of all my talks on 3 different platforms. They are on YouTube, they are on BitChute, and they are on Rumble. So please subscribe to whatever platform you're watching them on and hit the like button. When they get likes, that platform then puts them on the home pages of the people who log on to the platform. So we get more people watching and listening, and we want as many people as possible to watch these and listen to these and share these thoughts. Because as I said earlier, thoughts increase by being a given way, and the more who believe in them, the stronger they become. I was communicating with my healing team this week. Well, I communicate with them every week. But one of the things that came up was this particular quote, and then the implications that this quote had. So the quote was, "My holiness is unlimited in its power to heal because it is unlimited in its power to save." So it's this idea of equating healing with saving. In the reading that Reverend Randy read, it was all those times when you can really substitute the word healing for salvation, and it works very well. Just about every place you see the word salvation, you can substitute the word healing. Pretty clear that these words are synonymous in A Course in Miracles, that healing is equating to saving, is equating to salvation. Now, if you think that, wait a minute, salvation and save are actually 2 different words. So let's be clear about that. The verb to save is from the Latin salvare, or salvare, I think it is, which also means to save. And obviously, salvare is related to salvation and is related to salvage. So those are all rooted in the same Latin words. They're all equivalent to each other. So if to heal is to save, then healing and salvation are really the same thing. And I think as Randy read and as we saw, all those workbook lessons that have the word salvation in it, they work just as well with the word healing in them. Kind of interesting to see that work. Now, a number of people, and I've talked about this on and off, that a number of people have a kind of a negative association with the word salvation, and that's why it's helpful maybe for them to know that they can just substitute the word healing for the word salvation, and then they don't have to possibly feel so negative about the word salvation. Usually they have negative associations about salvation because of early religious church experiences that they may have had, and they associate that word salvation with these negative early church experiences. One of the ones that Randy read was "Salvation of the world depends on me." That's workbook lesson 186. And so it easily becomes "Healing of the world depends on me." And hopefully that could help people not have such a little negative association with it. And maybe it helps us just to understand a little what is meant by salvation. Sometimes people just don't really know how to apply the word salvation. What does it really mean? Well, I guess it just means healing. Healing of the world depends on me. Here's another place from the text that you can do the same thing. This says, "Would you not rather look upon yourself as needed for salvation of the world instead of salvation's enemy. Okay, maybe that's a little hard to grok, a little hard to understand, but maybe it's a little easier to understand if you just substitute the word healing in there. Would you not rather look upon yourself as needed for the healing of the world instead of as healing's enemy? That's one of those many rhetorical questions that A Course in Miracles asks, and I always say we should answer a lot of these. Yes, I would rather look upon myself as needed for the healing of the world. I certainly don't want to look upon myself as healing's enemy. I don't want to be healing's enemy. I want to add to healing. I'm okay. I'm going to embrace being needed for the healing of the world. If we really consider all the times the word salvation appears in A Course in Miracles, maybe you're not aware of that. But in my book, my go-to book, which is the original edition, that's the black book with the pearls, the word salvation is used 647 times. I mean, that's quite a lot of times. And the word healing or healed or heal, maybe that's used 759 times. I mean, if you add up the 647 with the 759, that's a total of 1,406 times. I mean, that's a lot of healing, a lot of salvation. I wonder if people really understood the first time they picked up A Course in Miracles how much it was really going to be grounded in healing, grounded in salvation. And then when you think about the fact that it comes to us from Jesus, well, it seems apropos. I mean, of course, Jesus' big claim to fame was his healing ability. And any teaching, spiritual teaching that would come from Jesus probably would have a lot of that healing stuff in it. So as I said, just be aware of that and, play a little game with yourself when you're reading A Course in Miracles. Substitute the word healing for salvation. See if it flushes it out a little bit for you. See if it makes it a little more meaningful, and see if maybe you have a little less resistance to it, because I think a lot of people do have a little resistance to the word salvation. Now, I didn't try it with all 647 incidents of the word salvation, but I really went through enough of them. Randy just went through plenty of them right now, Reverend Randy. And so you see how well it actually works. Okay, that first quotation that I shared with my healing team this week, my holiness is unlimited in its power to heal because it is unlimited in its power to save. Okay, not only equating healing with saving, but it's that idea that our power is actually unlimited. It's a tough thing for people to just kind of accept. We literally can heal everything because our power is unlimited, everything. And I frequently talk about this and frequently talk about how, I really have the power to heal all the appearances, big and small. No order of difficulty. That's the first principle of miracles. So I don't have any trouble embracing the idea that I can heal, that I am healing the incidents of war, the appearances of war in the world. War, the war in Iran, the war with Israel and Lebanon, the war with Israel and Gaza, the war with Ukraine and Russia. I work on that. I feel that I am a healing influence in all of those things. I embrace that. I don't see those things as being outside of us. And when we really embrace that idea of unlimited power, all the power there is in the universe is ours, then I think we can embrace that with a certain amount of peace. And I think that we can benefit by that a lot, and the world can benefit by them a lot. And then we don't have to be afraid of those things. See, if we see those things as big and outside of us and remote from us, there's a lot of fear invested with that perception of things. And when we really identify that our power is unlimited and our power to heal even things like that is unlimited, then we don't have to be fearful of them. That healing, the healing that is going on, and I see a lot of healing going on in the world. I know some people don't see it that way. I see it that way. I see a lot of healing going on in the world, and I embrace it. I embrace that that healing is coming from me. It's coming from all of us Course in Miracles students. It's coming from all of us on the CMC healing team. It's coming from all spiritual light workers everywhere. It's coming from us. It's the reason, actually, why we are here. Um, Another one of the workbook lessons that Reverend Randy read, which was, I came for the salvation of the world. Well, I came for the healing of the world. That's why I came. That's why I'm here. I came for that. I came to do that. So I'm happy to do that. I'm not resistant to it. I'm not afraid of the task at hand. I'm embracing the task at hand. I'm asking for help and guidance for the task at hand. I get it. I got it. I accept it. And I hope all of you do too. Just really get it. Instead of feeling negative about the situations in the world and how terrible they are, embrace them in that that's our work. That's what we're here to do. And we're here to really be used by the divine. We're here to be used by Jesus. Every day we should just really stand there and say, here we are, Jesus, use us. You know, Jesus has our back. So we don't have to worry about that. I had a wonderful picture here that I want to share with you that really personified this for me. You know, there's Jesus. He has my back. He's there. I just look at the light, look at the healing work ahead, but I don't have to be overwhelmed by it. It's not outside of me, and it's not beyond any power I have to heal it. And Jesus is right there, right at my back, with his hand on my back, lending me his certainty, his surety, his power. And that's why we're here. And I'm grateful for that. Not afraid of it. I don't have to look and think like there's something wrong. I'm just here to heal it. And I'm happy that it's come up to heal because I have all the unlimited power of the universe. We can connect to the energy of the universe. We can command the energy of the universe, the infinite power of the universe, the infinite power of God. It's our power. We have just as much connection to it as God does. I mean, I know this is a difficult idea to embrace, and it's probably an even harder reality to experience. And I often use it in meditations I lead. I used it this morning. You know, just that connection to all power, to continually remind yourself that. See if you can remember that when you do prayer and you do meditation, and when you do any healing work that you do, before you attempt to do it, remember that you have connection. You have the command of all the power of God, of all the power in the universe. There is no power outside of you, outside of us. Remember that. Affirm that before you do whatever healing work you do. Course in Miracles tells us God's thoughts are given all the power that their own creator had. By God's thoughts, they're talking about us. We're given all the power that our creator has. God doesn't have any power that we do not have. And every time we allow our minds to just open up to that idea, even if we don't feel like we're really experiencing it, every time we just say words that reflect that idea, we make some progress towards that. Now, Course in Miracles is clear about that. It's important for us to say the words, even if we don't feel like we have the feeling experience that the words seem to imply. It's still good to say them with as much conviction as we can muster up. Here's a quote that reflects that. It says, "Such is the truth, at first to be but said, and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true, with many reservations, and then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth." So it just doesn't happen all at once. We don't just suddenly embrace the idea that we have all the power God has. It starts with just us saying it, just us identifying it as a logical, reasonable idea. Even if we don't feel it, we can say it. We can say it with the conviction of reason. It's reasonable, makes sense, it's sane. And say it with that reason and repeat it as often as we need to repeat it. And maybe eventually we accept it as partly true. But we have reservations about it because we're still not totally feeling it. But we just do the best we can and we keep walking in the direction of that. We lay out the plan. I mean, that's the plan. It starts with us just declaring with as much reason as we can. It starts with simple repetition. And then we hold on to that and we just gather the confidence that that brings to us, and we keep moving further on towards that. There is no power God has that we also do not have, and God has all power. Say that every time you do a prayer, every time you do a meditation. I think accepting that we have access to all power is really the key to any kind of healing. The Course tells us, "Hear this, all power is given you in earth and heaven. There is nothing that you cannot do." And that says it pretty clearly. There's no arguing what that means. And I love that particular quotation because I think a lot of people think, well, all power, that's what I'm going to experience when I'm in reality, when I'm in heaven. But I think that quotation really just put forth that that's not an experience that's reserved for you in heaven. That's an experience that you can have now because it says all power is given you in earth and heaven. It doesn't say all power is given you in heaven and right now you experience yourself as powerless on earth. It says all power is given you in earth and heaven. So when you don't feel it, we just do the best that we can to move forward toward that experience. And perhaps the best we can do is just repeat the words and be open to it. It is the direction that we are moving in that's actually more important than the experience that we are having. The direction is really the most important thing. So keep that in mind. Keep moving in that direction. Keep pointing yourself in the right direction. And let the experience be whatever the experience is. In fact, celebrate the experience that you have, but keep yourself pointed in the right direction. And we will arrive at the destination. In the manual, we read, "The teacher of God has decided on the direction he will take." What more was asked of him? See, it's the only thing that really is asked of us is to walk in the right direction. We're not asked in particular to have any experience, but we are asked to walk in the right direction, and that right direction is the direction of unlimited power, the direction of commanding all of that power. How we experience ourselves is just how we experience ourselves, not as important as the direction that we are headed in. Keep walking forward toward your Christ self. We are here for salvation. We are here for healing. And we have all the power to do it because we have all the power that there is in the universe. We have all the power that there is in God. We have unlimited power to save. We have unlimited power to heal. We're here to heal the world. We're here to save the world. And we're doing it. Okay.
Nel nome
That's my
del
talk for
Padre,
today.
Figliolo, Spirito Santo.
Thank you very much.
Such a separation.
Have you been lonely? Have you been sad? How does it feel to lose such a close one? Have you been mad?